Hello and welcome to the United Stand. How are you all doing? Apologies, I'm going to do it my way tonight. I could have done Manchester United versus Southampton. I'm going to do it tomorrow night. You may start to notice from my voice, I'm struggling a little bit. Man flu can kill people and I've got it. And I'll never not go live for you. That's the first thing I want to say. But if we are going to go live, I want to talk about something I'm really interested in. And I'm massively interested in Manchester United versus Southampton. But setting up tactics and everything like that is not where my head's at the moment. So I just want to talk about something very simplistic, which is transfer news. And there has been developments over the last few days. Manchester United apparently may get into Alexis Sanchez, not literally, in January when he will leave Arsenal if they want a fee, or he'll go for nothing in the summer, which we'll come back to in a minute. But then a big development today, Diego Costa has been allowed to go to Atletico Madrid. He will join them in January, which for many people, they've been tweeting out and stuff on social media, welcome Antoine GRIEZMANN to Manchester United. Don't make that mistake. I did it after the Europa League Cup final. Is he a United player now occupying our number 7 shirt? No, he's not. Would he join in January? I don't believe that's possible. We'd be cup tied in the Champions League. I just don't see Griezmann coming to Manchester United in January, even though Diego Costa will go to Chelsea. But who will be Manchester United's next number 7? That is a big question. I spoke about it on the watch along last night. Maybe people like Martial or Rashford should be considered. And personally, I probably would rather they were our number 7 if they have the season I think they're going to have. Already embedded at the club. Really great youth talents that could go on to something special. I'd rather they had the number 7 than a new signing, because that's not worked out for us that well. Who would you pick out, a Griezmann or Sanchez though? Point is up to you. Calvin, I want to know how you've got FIFA 18. I've been hearing a lot of people on about that today. I don't understand how people have got it. I'm on PS4. Let me know. I'm not great. Let me know how you got it. Jude Allen says Alexis Sanchez is a much better choice. Let me just say this about Alexis Sanchez. For those people who want to start coming on saying it could never happen and all that jazz, it doesn't need a weatherman to tell me that Manchester United are in for Alexis Sanchez. They'd love to have him. And it doesn't take a weatherman to know that his tenacious ability up front would be fantastic for us. Wonderful left foot and superb player. So, also, he's got 1 year left on his contract. Now, when you think about Arsenal, don't underestimate Mesut Ozil to Manchester United either. Ozil loves Mourinho. Mourinho loves Ozil, regardless of the fact that Juan Mata, as we tweeted out today, name me a more consistent player for Manchester United than Juan Mata in the last 18 months. You'll start chucking names at me, and maybe Antonio Valencia is the only other one. But even Herrera's dropped off this season. Zlatan got injured. De Gea had a bit of a dodgy time last season. So, Juan Mata's fantastic. And Mkhitaryan's had a good start to the season. So would you want Ozil? But in short, Ozil and Alexis Sanchez can talk to clubs. And they will talk to clubs in January because they go for free in the summer. Arsenal's only option is to keep them all season and let them go for free next summer. Or let them go in January and get a bit of money. And for Alexis Sanchez, I would say 20 million. And maybe the same for Ozil. Don't be surprised if United are in for them. It's all about whether Manchester United want them or not. Matthew McFadden says, if you pre-ordered the Icon edition of FIFA, the overpriced version, and have EA access download on your console, you can play it now. I don't think that's available on PS4 though. Let me know if I'm wrong about that. Because maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, so Manchester United, Alexis Sanchez, Manchester City want him. I look at Manchester United and I think that Manchester United, Alexis Sanchez, number 7, he's the sort of player that we could use. I don't see what Manchester City need him for. They've got Aguero, they've got Sane, they've got Jesus or Jesus, De Bruyne. They've got loads and loads of players, and I don't think Alexis Sanchez fits in there unless they let Aguero go. United, he fits in very well. But, again, it's whether Sanchez wants to come to United. Now, I've got concerns about Antoine Griezmann and whether he would come to Manchester United. The problem with Griezmann is he bottled it this summer and decided to stay with Atletico Madrid through loyalty. That loyalty must end in January when they can start signing players again. Will he decide to stay at Atletico Madrid? His transfer fee locked in is €90 million. That is ridiculously cheap. That is so cheap in modern football now. When you think about Ousmane Dembele, 135 million. Mbappe, 150 million. Neymar, 200 million. And you can get Antoine GRIEZMANN for 90 million. That is an absolute bargain. And this is where I think the Chelseas of this world, maybe the Man Cities, certainly the PSGs, Bayern Munich's, Barcelona's, Real Madrid's, even AC Milan's, they'll all fancy Griezmann at that price now. Whereas I think in July it would have, it would have equalled the transfer record. We didn't know what was coming with Mbappe and Dembele and Neymar. So he's a cheap price. And I think others will come in. And we'll find out what Griezmann's really all about when that happens. Because is he really that intent on coming to United? Or is he actually just playing us again? We'll see. But Griezmann would fit us like a glove. Mike Rollins says 90 million is not cheap. I think you need to get into the real world, Mike. And I'm not being offensive to you there. But 90 million for one of the world's best players is now cheap. As scary as that sounds, I'm sorry, Mike, it is cheap. Ousmane Dembele is potential. Mbappe is potential. They're going for well over 130 million each. So Neymar's 200 million. Are you saying Griezmann's not worth even half of that? Come on. Griezmann in today's market's probably 140 million. That's what he's probably worth. You can get him for 90. Why not get both, says Balumko. Yeah, you could do. And Cam Jones says Griezmann would have joined us if it hadn't been for the ban. Well, we hope that would have been the case, don't we? But we don't know. We don't know that for sure, do we? Anyway, let's have a look at what's going on in the world of Manchester United. This is the OneFootball app. You can download it for free in the video description on Android or on Apple. Very good app. I follow it. I want to have a look at a little bit of Manchester United stats in a minute. But let's have a look at a little bit of news. Obviously, Mourinho last night talking about Martial said he did some things amazing and some things not so well. Why can't Mourinho just say Anthony Martial was fantastic tonight and leave it at that? There's always a negative with Martial. And whilst Mourinho wants us all to love Fellaini, you're not going to make us fall out of love with Martial. So get on the bus and cause no fuss, Jose. You know I back you. You know I love you. I know you're not even watching. Don't know why I'm talking in that way. But you've got to back Martial. Back him and give him the support, because he's a United fans love him, and he is potentially a Ballon d'Or winner. I don't care what anybody says. Pragmatic Mourinho can win hearts, minds and titles by unleashing front three of Martial, Rashford and Lukaku. It was certainly very good last night, and I thought Lingard deputised quite well. Romelu Lukaku has had his say on the controversial racist chant. He's basically said, let's stop doing it because it's offensive, although I wasn't offended by it, and I know it was done for a bit of banter. But, you know, pragmatic there. Every player's Premier League worst and best player on FIFA 18 there. And same again in the mirror. Van Dijk set to return for Southampton exile, and it's bad news for Manchester United. Well, Southampton will discuss tomorrow, but they've not been conceding many, and now Van Dijk's going to come back. But I'm not bothered. Lukaku's a match for anybody. Somebody stating the obvious there, Paul Mariner, why Marcus Rashford must not leave Old Trafford. It's a bit like saying why somebody must not drink bleach, isn't it? You know. And Amazon and Facebook keen on Premier League rights. Manchester United have reduced some of the debt and record profits yet again, and the next TV deal is just going to pour more and more money into Manchester United, which means more and more money into football, which means more and more ridiculous transfer fees, which means more and more expensive shirts and season tickets for fans. It's an ever-going circle. And Manchester United there. Okay, so links in the video description for that. That's how you can do that. But it's just one of the things I do like about the OneFootball app, and I've said to you this before, I want to just put Anthony Martial in here because I know a few weeks ago I couldn't really do it because he's been coming off the bench a lot. But you can get your stats on here. So 21 years of age. A lot of people forget that. He's not 22 until December. But let's have a look at his stats this season so far. 3 goals and 1 assist in the Premier League, 89% pass accuracy, 100% shot accuracy. I mean, these are stats to burn people, aren't they? But I like the pass accuracy more. I love the setup for the Rashford goal yesterday. The way he rolled the ball, his hard work ethic. He's actually made no tackles in the Premier League, which I find hard to believe. But yeah, absolutely fantastic season for him so far in a Manchester United shirt. And I'm loving every minute of it. You can get all that on the OneFootball app, as you know. Link in the video description. Download it. Follow Manchester United, and you can check all your stats there. But I was talking about this to people today. I don't really, as much as I love Jose Mourinho, and I don't know what people think about this, As much as I love Jose Mourinho, and as I said, some people say, you know, your head's up his bottom as much as the press is up Pep's. And, you know, maybe that's true. I love Mourinho. But I don't really like this nonsense. And I'll call it nonsense because I'll say what I think. That I don't really like this nonsense that Mourinho's turned Martial into a great player. I see nothing in Martial any different to what he was like under Van Gaal in that first season. There's a little bit more of a work ethic. But the work ethic's not really, you know, that's, you know... Teaching somebody to track back more isn't genius management. It's effectively, if you don't track back, you won't be playing for United. And that's what Mourinho said to him. But his skills, his ability to run at people, his finishing, this was all here in his first season. What happened with Martial last year is a mystery. I've been stunned by it. I really have. I never really understood why he didn't play so much last year. Because for me, last year he's as good as he is this year, and he is in season 1. I think the one thing happened with Martial last year, he had a lot going on in his private life, and then when he was trying to get back into the team, I think he was just trying to do too much. What I like about Martial this year, in fact, take that back, what I love about Martial this year is his retention of the ball. Like I say, 89% pass accuracy. When he gets the ball, he's not trying to do too much. If it's on to run at somebody, he'll do it. If it's not on to run at somebody, he'll pass it off. And that is brilliant. And I think that's something United are doing as a team so well this season. That ability to keep hold of the ball, not push it too far. I mean, Rashford does do it a little bit. And Martial was doing it a little bit last night, trying to score a goal. But in the main, I mean, Mata was brilliant in the first half last night. Mkhitaryan's been good at it. Pogba, Matic has been good at it. Even Fellaini, Herrera and Carrick last night. Lingard... Even Lukaku and definitely Martial. When we've got the ball, there's none of this trying to do something stupid and losing the possession. It's quick movements of the ball, keeping the ball, working it around, looking for the opportunity. And as a team, it is working so well. And Martial epitomises that. Even when he comes on for 10 minutes, he's not trying to do too much in that 10 minutes. He's waiting for the opportunity. First couple of touches of the ball, he's keeping the ball, he's passing it to somebody else. And it's brilliant. That's what Martial's doing this season. So he's not, you know, he's not got the personal problems. He's adjusted to the way Mourinho manages, and I think he stops trying to do too much in the time that he's got. And ball retention, I think, was the thing that Mourinho really didn't like last season, and he's a lot better at it. And yeah, we are doing fantastically well. Van der Mere says, "What is the Paul Pogba news?" Well, we spoke about that last night. Will Paul Pogba play at the weekend? Is he actually still injured? Was he dancing last night? I don't. The news in relation to him is that he's been ordered to take a 10-day break, and that's from Jose Mourinho, who has basically, if I read you this article, said injured Paul Pogba shares video of him dancing. Paul Pogba has been told to take a short holiday before he begins his injury rehabilitation. He's set to be out for 6 weeks after suffering a hamstring injury.
To bring people together, bring on the food.
Stupid of him, but I think Pogba will be back for the Liverpool game. For those who don't know, we've got Southampton away on Saturday afternoon, where we'll be doing watch along and preview tomorrow night. We've got Spartak Moscow on Wednesday in the Champions League. We've then got Crystal Palace on the Saturday. Then we're into an international break, and then we're back with Liverpool. We want Pogba back for that. I won't see... Knuckle-Loaded Coley says we won't see Pogba in October. I don't know. What? We've just had an ad. Oh, right, sorry. It's because I clicked onto another website, and I thought because I'd turned my volume down, you wouldn't be able to hear it, but obviously you could. I'd been on the Daily Mirror website, and it obviously played an ad, so I apologise for that. It's nothing to do... We're not getting ads, so don't worry. We've got CSKA Moscow next week, says playlist limit 100. Yes, we have. Chuck me some questions. I was going to do a preview tonight, like I said, but I feel so ill, and I just couldn't. You know when you feel ill, like with man flu, and I'm sorry to women, I'm not being sexist, but man flu is far better than the normal a cold. if you don't look after yourself, you could die from man flu. So I just didn't. My head wasn't in the space to start looking at Southampton tactically and all this stuff. So I just wanted to just go live and talk about football. And yeah, so we talked about Griezmann and Sanchez at the start. Loved talking about Anthony Martial because I love Anthony Martial. You should do a Skype Goldbridge show on That's Football Fan TV, says Pratic. If I felt like I could do it, I would. I am doing something on That's Football straight after this, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Will you ever do a drunk watch along, says Mr. Zaki. You know what? You're going to kill me. You're going to put me in an early grave. People are on about, oh, your best shows are when you're drunk. I don't drink that often. Friday night. And I don't think I'll be drinking tomorrow feeling like this. King K Gaming says, what colour underwear are you wearing? None, because I'm not wearing any. Ooh. Amri's had man flu and survived. Nimioli says, what's his thoughts on Manchester United's start to the season? I don't know what your thoughts are, everybody, but I think it's been fantastic. I'm really happy with it. I thought that Everton result last weekend was so good because I thought that's the sort of game last season we dropped points in. I'm still very disappointed about the Stoke result because I think we should have beat them. Funnily enough, Stoke entertained Chelsea at the weekend. I'll guarantee Chelsea will do them. But that's Stoke for you. When United roll into town, they turn up. We've also... Southampton at the weekend's very hard. I think if we can beat Southampton at the weekend, Crystal Palace at home the weekend after, we'll beat them. And then we go into the international break in a fantastic position where we played 7 games and drawn 1 and won 6. So Southampton's a massive game. And don't underestimate Southampton, by the way. I'll talk more about them tomorrow night. But they've won. They've not, they have won games, but they're struggling to score, but they're not conceding many. So it's going to be a difficult game for us. I will do some FIFA 18 stuff, but I'm going to have to look at how I download it because I didn't think you could get it on the PS4. If somebody tells me I can get FIFA 18 on the PS4 tonight by doing something, let me know how I do it and I will get it. Whiskey does cure a cold, Mike Rollins. I am going to have a little dab in a little bit. A dab of whiskey is not, it's not the Pogba thing. Tenacious and pragmatic, Goldie. What formation do you think we should play against Liverpool, says Mr. Zaki Boy. Way too far in the future, that is, pal. Way too far. Sandeep's quoting me here, but he's accurately right. He says, Mark's favourite United player of all time is Duncan Edwards. Of those who he has seen, it is Roy Keane. Spot on. I'd love Pulisic, Shaka Phillips, as you know. Another great thing I want to read out. Don't disappear because you're going to love this stat. Brilliant. This is what Manchester United are about this season. And just going back to that person who said, you know, what is your interpretation of Manchester United this season? I just want to say this, that Manchester United are a team this season. That's what Manchester United are. And 23 goals we've scored this season, 16 assists, and that is spread across 7 players. Last season, season before, reliant on maybe 1 or 2 players to score your goals. We've scored loads, we've got loads of assists, and it's already spread across 7 players. That's how you win a title. But we spoke about it on the US tour, and on the US tour we were saying, you know, we need to sign some players. We need to sign some players. But the positive is, you look at the players in training in America and that, and they looked like the morale was fantastic. Lots of banter. Lots of team ethic and camaraderie, and that's continued into the season. Now that won't win you a title, but it will help you win a title. You've still got to have the ability to beat the best sides, but if you are a team and you have got teamwork, it will give you a hell of a lot, and we need to see it. Funnily enough, last season away from home we were very good, and at home we dropped a lot of points, but this season we're going to have to go and start winning some points away from home. We've already done it obviously at Swansea. We should have done it against Stoke. We need to do it against Southampton. They're the games where you go and win if you want to win the title. And the reality is, if we beat Southampton and Crystal Palace, no matter what Manchester City do, bar goal difference, we will be joint top of the league. And they've got Chelsea next weekend as well. So massively important that we beat Southampton. But the team ethic within the Manchester United squad at the moment is absolutely superb. And that is down to Mourinho. What he's built at United. And I love that. I love the fact that it's spread across 7 players. Everybody is pumped and wants to be part of the team. You saw Carrick and Herrera last night. Can't get near the first team at the moment, but both very, very good. I know it's only Burton, but you know what? Messi in Barcelona, Ronaldo in Real Madrid, most weeks they're playing pub teams like Burton Albion anyway, and everyone still shoves their head up their arse. So why can't we congratulate and praise our players last night? You can only beat what's in front of you, and I'll tell you what, Martial will do what he did last night to a top Premier League side. No trouble, no trouble. Have it, 100%. There's a little prize from tonight as well, by the way. We were talking about it on the watch along last night. Mad Marcus has asked me to do this and all that jazz, because we were talking on the watch along last night about some of my catchphrases. I think there's about 5 or 6. How many times have I said a catchphrase of mine tonight? Mad Marcus is going to run that competition. He's going to watch the show back and count them up, and you can leave a comment below and tell us how many you think. And the winner will get a United Stand t-shirt announced in the watch along on Saturday afternoon. So Mad Marcus deserves a pat on the back for that. I've lost count of how many I've done, but I've really enjoyed the show. And Mark, do you still take Nainggolan over Matic? Says Ranyan. Yeah, I would actually. I would. You know, I'm not going to be a total hypocrite. Because I think Nainggolan in the Premier League is the closest thing to Roy Keane in world football, and I think he'd be an absolute revelation. And they are roughly the same age. I'd certainly like to give it a try, and I'm not dismissing Matic at all. I think he's done really well, but Nainggolan's just tenacious is the word I would use for him, and he's very good on the ball. A Nainggolan and Matic midfield with Pogba ahead of it, now that would be sexy. Fellaini or Lingard to fight for penalty, says Pericles. Griezmann all the way, says SJ Gaming. Arta Ella says United Stand is the best. People remember to subscribe and like. Yeah, please do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're closing in on 137,000 subscribers. I was going to do a Skype show tonight as well, but I just haven't got the voice for it, and I sort of want to whiz through the 2 shows I'm going to do tonight and then get some rest, because there's lots to do over the weekend, and you know, if I lose my voice, that's the end of it. So I've got to be a bit careful when I've got a cold and a bit of a sore throat. So I do have to manage it. You know, sometimes it's a bit like an injury. It's better to miss 1 game rather than play through it and miss maybe 6. So I have got to manage it carefully, as a few people have told me. But I reckon I've done over 10 of my catchphrases, but I don't think I did. I think I did Wander the Left Foot, didn't I? Wander the Left Foot, rest in peace, nearly, because Wander the Left Foot was all about James Rodriguez, and he didn't come to United. But Mkhitaryan's got a bit of a Wander the Left Foot, so's Mata. So no signings confirmed, Tobias, because we're not actually in the transfer window. But I do think Sanchez or Griezmann will come to United, and I think they will be our next number 7, one of those 2. So it's very much about who you would prefer. I'm going to put a poll up on here at some point. I can't do it when I'm live, which is a shame. I think I'd still go for Griezmann, because I think more central is what we want. But Sanchez would be a revelation, and I think he would suit us better than Manchester City. Balumko Paffa says, Mark, we're always on the same page. It's so weird. Maybe over the years I've been gradually... what's the word? Getting into your heads and hypnotising you with my thoughts. Imagine that. And Stephen Bauer, thanks for this contribution. Well, not the contribution, but the comment. He says, you can't get it on PlayStation. It's an Xbox exclusive feature. You get 10 hours of gameplay a day. So you can't get it on PS4 at the moment, FIFA 18. Is that official? What's the earliest date I can get it on the FIFA 18? Jose Marino says your kid's got a Wander the Left Foot. I really, you know, I'm right-footed, but I can play with my left foot because my granddad taught me how to. I remember my granddad doing this. At his house, he had quite a big garden with a wall, so I used to kick the ball up against the wall. He said, go and kick the ball up against the wall to learn how to pass. So I did it over a couple of weeks. Then I went to him and went, Grandad. Passed him the ball. He passed it back. It went really good. Now go and do it with your left. So, and that took a lot longer. But it was brilliant. It was the way he was adamant that I should be 2-footed. So I'm 2-footed, but I'm naturally right-footed. But I can hit it really hard with my left foot because it's a bit like having a posh. It's better. And where am I going with that? Anyway, what I was going to say is my daughter who plays football is left-footed but right-handed. I'm really hoping Sebastian's going to be left-footed because there's something about left-footers. There's something about left-footers. And I'd love it. I'd love it. Cal Davis says it's out next Friday on PS4, which is what I'd thought. 23rd with pre-order version. I'm getting all confused now. I don't know. FIFA 18 on the 26th is the earliest day, says David Allen Taylor. I tell you what, somebody, if you're not watching live, start a thread on when PS4 gets FIFA 18. Just start a comment and then people can reply to it, and then I can come back later and have a look. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this stream, and because it's Thursday night at 8:30 on That's Football, I do a Premier League preview. So I will be talking about Manchester United, but I will be talking about all the other games that are going on as well. If you've not watched that, people do enjoy it. The link is in the video description, I think. Yeah, it is. It's underneath the OneFootball app. Make sure you download that if you haven't already and follow United. Really good. It gives you notifications of what's going on with United, and you can get all your stats and everything like that. And it's free. So download that. Underneath that, it says That's Football preview link. I'm going to go over there now. I'll be live in 60 seconds. And it's a generic Premier League preview. So I'll be talking about who everyone else is playing, what I think is good for fantasy football, what I think the results are going to be for the weekend, and also where I think everyone's going to be in the league and all that lot. So join me over there. I'm literally going to be over there in about 60 seconds time. Thanks everybody for watching the show tonight. I will be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow night with the preview. But thanks. I really enjoyed tonight because you know what? I couldn't be bothered to do the preview because I don't feel very well. But just going live with you lot for half an hour and just talking about football with a bit of transfer stuff in there was really nice. You know what? The games are coming thick and fast, but sometimes it's just nice to just go into a bubble, a little bit of a fantasy bubble. And I'm not talking about porn. And just, you know, just talk about things that, you know, make you feel good. So I'm going over to That's Football. You can either type That's Football into your search box and you'll see the live stream, which is ready and going. Or you can click the link in the video description. So pop over there and I'll see you in 60 seconds live on That's Football. Thanks everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and drop a like. I'll see you in a minute. And all that jazz.